I want to delete the philosophy for a moment. I want to talk about what is happening inside your house. It looks at the soil and strips out until nothing grows. This is not just environmental damage. This is a polarity violation. We want to consume the honey. We are not willing to protect the hive. This is not a relationship problem. This is a spiritual failure. The most attractive thing a man can become is more still, more zero, nothing to prove and everything to give. In this episode, we are going to talk about the corrupted masculine, what the three diseases are actually doing to the world right around us. In the last episode, we spoke about Shiva, about zeroness, about the sovereign masculine, free from consumption, control, and hallucination. I want to delete the philosophy for a moment. I do not want to talk about archetypes. I want to talk about what is happening inside your house. Look at the macro first. Look at the earth. In Hinduism, we call it Prakriti, the original feminine, the creation ground of all existence. The corrupted masculine looks at a forest and sees timber to extract. It looks at a river and uses it as a dumping ground for its waste. It looks at the soil and strips out until nothing grows. This is not just environmental damage. This is a polarity violation. The masculine endlessly extracting from the feminine, giving nothing back, protecting nothing, restoring nothing, until the feminine is depleted, toxic, and barren. The earth is not dying from natural causes. It is being looted by a masculine that has forgotten what it is for. Now, look inside your home. Look at the modern woman inside a domestic life. Her day begins before anyone else wakes up. It ends after everyone else sleeps. She carries the children, not just physically, but the entire mental architecture of their lives. The school schedule, the doctor's appointment, the food, the emotional needs, and the invisible 10,000 decisions that keep an entire ecosystem from collapsing. This is a full-time biological drain every single day. And at the end of that 16-hour shift, at the end of sustaining an entire life, what does the corrupted masculine demands? Physical consumption. Her body is expected to be available. Her warmth is expected to be present. Her desire is expected to be intact. As if she has not already given everything she has to give before 9 a.m. And when she bleeds, when her body enters its sacred lunar cycle, a profound biological and energetic purge, how does this world treats her? As a problem, as something inconvenient. We shame her biology. We deny her the one thing the feminine requires in that phase: complete, total, unquestioned rest. We only want the aesthetic of the feminine, the beautiful face, the warm smile, the bubbly energy, the softness, and the honey. We want to consume the honey. We are not willing to protect the hive. And when the bill arrives, when she is tired from carrying what no one person should carry alone, when her hormones shift and emotional weight becomes visible, when she is crying from the sheer pressure of sustaining a universe in complete isolation, where is the masculine? Absent, He offers zero help, zero energetic presence, zero protection. He leaves her completely alone inside her own polarity. And then he turns to his friends and says, "She is too much to handle. She is so emotional." He wonders why she has nothing left for him. This is not a relationship problem. This is a spiritual failure. A man who systematically drains the feminine and then judges her for being drained is not a partner. He is a parasite wearing the costume of a provider. Now let me map this directly on the 3 diseases I named in the last episode, because they are not abstract. They are happening in the room next to you right now. This is consumption, wanting her beauty and her body, discarding her exhaustion and her pain, eating the fruit and poisoning the soil. This is control. Domestically, a primal cosmic force into a household manager, and punishing her when she shows the vileness of her true nature. This is hallucination. The modern man looking in the mirror and believing he is a king when the mirror is showing him something else entirely. The modern man does not know how to be a man, not because he is weak, because he was never shown the difference between dominance and strength, between extraction and provision, between consuming the feminine and being worthy of her. Shiva does not sit in stillness to be passive. He sits in stillness so that Shakti can dance. The sovereign masculine provides an unshakable, silent, and secure ground so the feminine can open, create, expand, and thrive. He does not demand from her energy. He generates the condition for her energy to flourish. He does not consume the feminine. He becomes the reason she wants to give. The masculine exists to provide ground. The feminine exists to provide life. When the masculine consumes the ground instead of protecting it, nothing grows. Nothing in the forest, not in a home, not in a relationship, not inside the man himself. So if the feminine in your life, whether that is the woman besides you or the creative force within you, is exhausted, erratic, and closed, do not blame her. Look at the ground you're providing. Here is what the correction actually looks like. It is not grand. It does not require a ceremony. It is the man who comes home and asks what she needs before announcing what he wants. It is the man who, when she is in her cycle, creates space instead of demanding presence. It is the man who can sit in his own stillness, his own zeroness, without pulling from her energy to feel full. It is the man who has done the inner work, so he does not need to extract it from someone else. And here is what nobody tells you about that man. About the man who has returned to zero and become the ground. What happens to the woman around him? What happens to the space around him? When the masculine becomes the ground, genuinely still, genuinely secure, genuinely free from the 3 diseases, the feminine does not have to protect herself anymore. She opens. The woman who has exhausted finds energy. The woman who was erratic finds her depth. The woman who had nothing left to give discovers she has an inexhaustible source. Not because her life got easier, because the men besides her finally became safe to be around. And the creativity force within you, the ideas that have been silent, the work that has been stuck, the vision that has felt unreachable begins to move. Because the inner masculine stopped consuming the inner feminine and started protecting it. The most attractive thing a man can become is not richer, not more powerful, not more dominant. It is more still, more grounded, more zero, because a man who has returned to zero has nothing to prove and everything to give. You came into this series looking for a morning protocol. What you are receiving is something older than that. The understanding that the way you treat the feminine in the world, in your home, inside yourself, is a direct measure of how far you have come from zero. The corrupted masculine is not someone else. It is the version of you that have been running since the loop began, since the consciousness erosion started, since you forgot what you were for. You're not here to consume the feminine. You're here to be the ground it needs to become everything it is capable of. Returning to zero, become the ground. That is the real work. Everything else, every habit, every protocol, every morning is built on top of that. Share this video with the man who is ready to hear this, not the man who will be defensive, the man who already knows something is wrong and has not yet found the language for it. This might be the conversation that changes the direction of his life, because this is not an advice. This is the code. See you at sunrise.